Hi everyone. Welcome to 5, 10, 15, 21K training for a half marathon. Today we're going to talk about the 5 steps to running a half marathon. So there's no time like now to get started. Like many thousands of people, walking and running is a major part of my daily activities. The question is why? Well, because research says that 10 minutes a day of low intensity walking or running will extend your life. 50 minutes a week will reduce your risk of dying from cardiovascular disease. Both of these activities can help you to control or lose weight, and both of them help improve your mood. So you know there's health benefits, and maybe you've considered or want to start a program this year, and a walk-run program might be the option for you. Um, there's always questions. So running, is this something I can do? What kind of gear do I need to have to walk and run? Are the programs online that I can refer to help me? And where should I go to train? So here's my thoughts. When I first started, I couldn't run more than about 2 minutes before I gassed out, hit the wall, and had to stop to catch my breath. So I've been running for quite a few years now. I started out with 5Ks and gradually went up, and started about 8 years ago running half marathons. And I've put about 12 in, and just in the last 3 years, I've put over 8,000 kilometers on my Fitbit. So it's about really just getting out there and get moving. So from a gear perspective, it depends on your budget. If you're going to spend the money, put it in your shoes. Shoes are the best part of a best piece of gear that you can invest in. They're going to save a lot of wear and tear on your ankles, your knees, your hips. Uh, they're probably the most important part of any type of walk run program. There's all kinds of gear out there you can buy, fancy stuff like, you know, buy your stuff from a big box store or wherever. It depends on your budget. The other thing that's really good to have is an activity tracker. You can use it for your walks and runs, for your distance. You can see the improvements you're making. A scale that hooks into an app as well is good to have because it'll help you to track how you're doing from a weight perspective, or from the percent body fat, or a lot of the scales now will record that for you as well. So here's how I started. As I mentioned, when I first started, I wasn't doing much more than 2 minutes at a time of running and a couple of minutes of walking. But over a few months of doing that, it built up my endurance, and it helped me to decide whether I wanted to continue and do further distances. So maybe a year or so later, I tried a 5K run. It was painful, but I kept running, and I did that distance for about 4 or 5 days a week for a few years. It was I ran on my lunch, and it became a habit. A few years later, I decided to try 10K runs and did that distance for a few years as well, and then decided it was time for me to shoot for a half marathon. So around 2012, I decided that was going to be my go-to distance, and I increased my distance gradually from the 10K up to 15, and then worked it up to 18K, and used as an interim step to get me up to 21K. And as I mentioned, since then I've been running half marathons, and try to get at least one or two in a year, and I've completed 12 of them. And you push through the pain to get the reward. So once you've landed on a program, whether it's walking or running, you're going to decide to start to get moving. You're going to want to set some goals. Each week, how much are you going to go, and you're going to want to increase that goal, occasionally, so every couple of weeks or so. You really want to put a commitment in place. You want to make sure that you're giving yourself time in order to achieve those goals. Start slow. Don't overdo it. That goal should be realistic, because you really don't want to set the goal so high that you're overtraining and winding up getting injuries. And a lot of times people will reduce their calorie intake because they're trying to lose weight. That's not always such a good thing, because as you increase your activity, you're also going to need more calories to burn. So don't starve yourself. Make sure you're eating healthy, and above all, make sure that you hydrate. You have to get a lot of water into your body when you're working hard and burning off calories. So set your goals, as I mentioned, make them SMART. SMART is an acronym for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. But most importantly, your goals should be realistic. You want a realistic goal, so again, so that you don't set yourself up for failure. So some of the best places to run for me, I like to mix it up. I like to run on city sidewalks. It's nice to run through town. A park is a nice quiet place to run, a nature trail. I would advise that when you're first starting out, not to take a course that where the terrain's too rough. You don't want to start bending ankles the wrong way or jarring your body too much. So try to stay on a smooth terrain at first until you develop your endurance and your skills with running. But find a nice quiet place to go where you like to go. Mix it up. Don't make it routine, because when you make something too much of a routine, it becomes boring. So keep it interesting. Try to get to a different city. Try a different place to run, and just try to make it fun. So, as much as you stick to the program, there's always going to be good and bad days. Bad days happen. Don't get discouraged. It's bound to happen that you might have a sore knee or a sore ankle. So, but don't rush, don't overwork. You don't want those injuries. So shoot for a gradual increase in your distance, your endurance, and your confidence is going to build, and you'll hit your goal. So regardless of age, it's always wise to consult your doctor for advice on how to start any type of a program, especially if it's going to increase your cardiovascular, so you want to make sure that you've checked in with your doctor. Especially if you're a little bit overweight, maybe you've been smoking, too much time on the couch, your doctor's going to advise you on the best approach for your exercise. Once you get the nod from the doc, start slow, keep it simple, and remember to have some fun. Uh, One thing that happens a lot is that we get busy. Our days are extremely busy, but if you don't schedule this like anything else, you're not going to find the time to do it. And it has to become a habit, part of the routine. It has to be a priority. So put that reminder on your phone, on your computer, put it on the front of your refrigerator. Tell your friends, tell your spouse, get your kids to remind you to get out there and get moving. So you're ready to start? Don't overthink it. Don't make it complicated. Try to make it fun. Put one foot in front of the other and just get moving. So our other videos will help you to move from the run walk program into a 5K, 10K, 18K, the interim step in between that, and right up to the full half marathon. So please join us for our other videos, and subscribe to our channel. Thanks.